quarter notes, space, and stay together. Real. Front. In.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Please remain standing. It's a privilege to gather today to celebrate this special occasion with the Nashoba Regional High School class of 2026. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our families, friends, and honored guests, Superintendent Downing, School Committee Chair Viverito, our dedicated faculty and staff. Most importantly, I want to welcome and congratulate the remarkable members of the class of 2026. Today is a celebration of your hard work, perseverance, growth, and achievements. We are so very proud of all that you have accomplished, and we are excited to recognize the impact you've made on our school community. Class of 2026, this day is about you, and we're honored to celebrate this milestone together. Congratulations. I have a few thank yous because a graduation ceremony like this does not come together on its own. So I'd like to thank Ms. Winter, Donnie, members of facilities, Ms. D'Entremont, Mrs. Bailey, our band and chorus students, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Bailey for everything they have done to make this ceremony and celebration very special. I now invite our seniors who are part of the choir to please make their way to the platform. I'd like to invite Class of 2027 Vice President Abasi Semakula to the stage to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Congratulations, Class of 2026.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Say, oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Our choir will now sing The Parting Glass. Thank you. Would members of the choir from the senior class please return to their place on the stage? Have you ever actually watched a leaf turn? Not glanced at a hillside in October and thought, oh, isn't that pretty? But actually watched the process, paid attention to it over days and weeks. It doesn't happen overnight. It's been building since August, long before you notice it. Slowly, quietly, the trees begin pulling back the chlorophyll, that deep green that's been masking everything underneath. And as it pulls back, something extraordinary happens. Colors that were always there, brilliant oranges, deep reds, glowing golds, finally get to be seen. The tree didn't create those colors in October. They were there all along. Class of 2026, I've been watching you turn for 4 years, and I want you to know what I'm seeing today was always inside you. Nashoba did not manufacture who you are. It just pulled back the green. It put you in hard situations and asked you to figure them out. It introduced you to people who challenged you, teachers who pushed you, moments you didn't expect to matter that turned out to matter most. A grade you had to fight for, a team you almost quit but didn't, a conversation in a hallway that quietly changed everything. The colors on display today, those are yours. They always were. Before I go further, I'd like to point your attention to the mural to my left. That mural was created by a member of our senior class, Vanessa Davis, and it is the inspiration for everything I'm about to say. This mural is a tradition in which members of the senior class and art club create a mural displayed in the guidance hallway where seniors place icons showing their future plans. Vanessa, thank you. You gave this class a forest worth walking into. But here's what I want you to understand about trees and about yourselves. A tree doesn't turn brilliant in spite of its roots. It turns brilliant because of them. Those roots reaching down deep, quietly doing their work through every season, that's what makes the color possible. So before we talk about where this path is taking you, I want to take a moment. Graduates, look out at the audience. The people sitting in those seats didn't just drop you off at school each morning. They are your root system. They lost sleep over you. They sat in the driveway after a hard day trying to find the right words. They celebrated your wins in a way that nobody else ever quite will. They were doing invisible, essential work every single season, so that today you could stand here glowing. And it isn't just family. Look again at the mural. Take a moment to really look at it. A woodland scene, trees, a pathway, a whole living ecosystem, not a portrait of one person, not a single tree standing alone. This is what your 4 years actually looked like. Every teacher who stayed after, every coach who believed in you before you believed in yourself, every friend who sat with you at lunch when you needed it, every person in this building who was part of your forest without you ever fully realizing it. To everyone who loved and raised and taught this class, thank you. The colors you're seeing today belong to you too. Now, class of 2026, back to you. I need you to notice something about the phrase on the trail sign, turning a new leaf. We use it as an idiom, but think about what it actually means. It means deciding to do something differently. It means choosing to begin again. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you do. You are not being graduated today. You are choosing to turn. That distinction matters more than it might seem right now, because the world you're stepping into will offer you 100 reasons to wait, to hesitate, to let the moment pass. And in those moments, I want you to remember that the turn is yours to make. The agency belongs to you. It always has. Here's the thing about leaves, though. They don't all fall the same way. Watch them sometime. Some drift almost straight down, slowly, and land just a few feet from the tree. Some catch a current of wind and travel farther than you'd expect. Some spin in wild, unpredictable spirals before they finally touch the ground. And none of them, not a single one, is doing it wrong. This class caught some extraordinary currents this year. Some of you strapped on cleats and carried Nashoba into playoffs and titles. We have a game tomorrow, by the way. Good luck, girls lacrosse. Some of you built machines from the ground up, problem-solved under pressure, and competed on a robotics stage that very few programs ever reach. Some of you walked into DECA competitions and walked out as champions, having out-prepared students from across the country. Some of you stood under stage lights and made people feel something, whether it was in the orchestra, in the wings, in the spotlight, at a piano at 2 a.m, writing something no one has heard yet. And some of you are licensed EMTs. You are 17 or 18 years old, and you are already trained to save a life. Think about that. Different currents, different colors, every one of them real. I know that some of you are walking across this stage today with a clear plan, a school, a program, a specific road ahead. And I know that some of you are walking across this stage with something that looks more like a direction, a hope, a general sense of that way. And I know some of you are walking across this stage quietly unsure, holding a question mark you haven't told many people about. All of that is okay. All of it is actually right on time. You do not have to fall like anyone else. The path you take is not wrong just because it's different. It's yours because it's different. Trust the current that catches you. Trust the spin. Now look at the pathway in the mural. Notice where it goes. It doesn't emerge into a clearing. It doesn't lead to an open field where everything is figured out and well lit and certain. It goes deeper into the forest, into the beautiful, complex, not fully visible forest. That is not an accident. That is the truth. What's ahead of you is not the end of the mystery, it's the beginning of it. There will be forks in that path you can't see from here. There will be seasons that are harder than this one. There will also be moments of color so brilliant they will stop you in your tracks, and you will want to find a way to share them with someone. The path into the forest isn't something to brace for, it's something to step into. The sign on that trail marker says, "Turning a new leaf," and I want you to think of it as exactly that, a trail marker, not a finish line, not a conclusion. A marker that tells you where you are right now, in this moment, so that you can figure out where you're going. You are here, you know your colors, you know your roots. You've made the choice to turn. Now look at what you've built together. Every one of those leaves on the mural, each one carrying a dream. That is a promise. A promise you made to yourselves, to each other, and to everyone in this room who believed in you. Vanessa gave us a forest to walk into today, and every leaf on that mural, each one placed there by one of you, is proof of what this class always was, even before any of us could see it clearly. We cannot wait to see where the path takes you. Congratulations, Nashoba, class of 2026. Go find your forest. At this time, I would like to invite Superintendent Kirk Downing to the podium to deliver his message to the seniors.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Boynton, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I will be brief in my comments so we can hear from our featured speakers, these wonderful students. I want to offer a warm welcome to families, friends, and faculty who have joined us to witness the completion of 13 years of hard work and dedication by these candidates for graduation today. The young men and women up here on this stage with me are tremendous young people. They have shown great fortitude and steely resolve to reach this milestone, and I am certain today has arrived with a great deal of pride and satisfaction. Seniors, as you become graduates of Nashoba Regional High School, you will join a long group of alumni who have spanned the world seeking opportunity and adventure, as well as alumni who chose to stay in the community and raise their families right here in Bolton, Lancaster, and Stowe. You never know when you're going to run into a fellow alum. For example, a couple years ago, I was walking the beach in La Jolla, California with my wife and my brother. And I was wearing my Nashoba Wolves sweatshirt, when a young couple getting ready to go surfing walked by, and the woman asked me, "Is that Nashoba from Stowe, Massachusetts?" I said, "Yes, it is. How do you know Nashoba?" She said, "I graduated from Nashoba in 2022. And I said, "How wonderful. I'm Kirk Downing. I handed you that diploma." Her jaw fell in disbelief and wonderment. Immediately called her mother from the breach. She was a student at the University of San Diego studying marine biology, fulfilling a dream she had cultivated during her years as a Nashoba student. Seniors, you'll now go off to fulfill the visions you have cultivated. Some of you have a plan for exactly what you want to do. Others may have a sense of direction, but are not decided on the specific path. Yet even some, if you're like me at your age, have no idea what direction you want to take right now. And that's okay too. What is important for all of you to know is that you will be faced with choices. Choices for which you cannot be certain of the outcomes. Choices that will increasingly become your responsibility to which you are accountable. Choices that will not only have an impact on you, but they will have an impact on others. When faced with choices, I ask you to consider a few things. First, ask yourself, what is the right and just decision? Don't be afraid to make a choice against the tide of consensus when you know the choice is the right one. Thinking about it another way, dig deep and drum up the courage you need to make the choice that is hard and just. Next, consider the impact of your choices. We are all impacted by each other's choices, and knowing the impact will inform you on your decision. But most of all, please, choose kindness. All too often we have experiences that are simply unkind. By keeping kindness at the forefront, doors will open, opportunities will abound. As the old cliche goes, it's in the end, it's not the things we acquire, the trophies we win that make a difference. It's how we make people feel. As I've done before at previous graduations, I've asked our Nashoba alumni in the audience to please stand. So if you are an alum of Nashoba Regional High School, will you please stand? Please remain standing for a moment. Please remain standing. Seniors, take a look out there. In just a few moments, you will be welcomed by these people into an exclusive fellowship of Nashoba Regional High School alumni. Wear that distinction with pride. Who knows, maybe one day you and I will bump into each other walking down the beach somewhere and smiling, knowing we are Nashoba. Congratulations, seniors, on becoming graduates of Nashoba Regional High School.
I'm much shorter than the superintendent. Thank you, Superintendent Downing. Next, I would like to welcome to the podium our class valedictorian, Dervila Nagel.
Good afternoon, administration, teachers, families, and of course, the class of 2026. Those four numbers, 2026, used to be the arbitrary digits at the start of our school email account that may as well have been 100 years away. But here we are. Over the past 13 years, I've learned to look for the silver lining in every experience. I moved to the Nashoba Regional School District in the 2nd grade. It was only a couple of towns over, and yet it felt earth-shattering to my 8-year-old self. I recently found a diary that I wrote in at the time, which details the emotions I felt in that moment. On the day of the move, I wrote, "I am excited and nervous, but most of all, I'm stressed. I miss my friends and my teachers, but I will try my best, and I hope I will make lots of friends." So essentially, exactly how many of us feel right now as we leave Nashoba for our next great adventure. The cyclical changes of life draw parallels between our former, current, and future selves, yet with each transition, we become a little bit more prepared. Looking back, I did not need to worry, though, because as is the Nashoban way, it was no time before I shared my journal. "I love my new home, I have lots of friends," with no punctuation for added emphasis. And so it all works out, especially when we are forced to eat pizza for dinner because we can't find the utensils in all of the packing boxes. So, as we make this change and move on to all that comes next, I hope we will remember to try everything. One of the qualities I value so deeply about the Nashoba community is the diverse collection of interests we all hold. My peers are not just athletes, but also DECA and Green Team members. Not just in Best Buddies, but also making movies, acting, or playing lots of pickleball. They ride horses and crochet, do origami, and have a knack for cooking or for making robots. And this is important. In an increasingly superficial, artificial world, maybe the best way to combat the molds we are supposed to fit into, or the labels that we are given, is to be absolutely impossible to define. Be an oxymoron, contradict yourself. Be the demanding CEO of a tech company and the sweet part-time teacher of music lessons to preschoolers. Be both silly and cunning, be sweet and fierce. Be as many things as possible. And if we approach life in this way, we will get overwhelmed. I know it happened to me throughout the past 4 years, especially during junior year, where a single Tuesday often felt like it lasted an entire week. But I learned over time that the worry is at least partially optional. And that is not to dismiss the struggles we often face, but instead a reminder that sometimes we can move through the hard things without burdening ourselves with worry. We can try to face the challenges with a smile, a simple act which releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, boosting our mood and lowering our heart rate. Psychology teaches us about eustress, that positive and motivating nervousness, which tells us that what we are doing is worthwhile. What I'm experiencing right now in front of you, for example. It is true that if we did not care, we would not be so worried. And further, the hard things are often what builds the greatest community. I actually will miss the pre-math test stress because we got to experience that together, huddled at extra help early in the morning, and followed by a collective sigh of relief when we inevitably made it to the other side. Often, however, we cannot tackle these challenging moments on our own. So thank you to our families who maybe noticed a not-so-good change on Power School and gave us that nudge we needed, who may have had dinner ready after a long day of school, clubs, and practice so that we could get our homework done, who celebrated our wins and gave us a hug after our mistakes. And a special thank you to our teachers, especially those who waited in the hall during passing periods to greet every student and not just their own. Those who noticed a tired face and took a moment to check in. Those who stayed late and who came in early to explain and to encourage. Those who saw us as more than just a student in their class, but as a young person in the world. We know it takes a village, so thank you all for being ours. When I was 7 years old, if you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would say quote writer. I took such great inspiration from the words of prominent activists and world leaders that I believed their career's work had only been to sit down and write these short, inspirational sentences. And being as I thought it was wise at the time, far more wise than I know myself to be 11 years later, I set out to practice. I don't remember where I drew inspiration from at the time, but I wanted to share one I found that is simple yet exceedingly true. It reads, "The people who have accomplished great things in life are the people who believe they can do anything." 11 years later, I urge you all to keep your eyes wide, your mind open, and most of all to believe that you can do anything. Finally, congratulations. Whether you have plans to go far or stay close, to change the world or focus on curating your own chosen world, whether you plan to cure people, teach people, protect people, or provide for people, I'm so incredibly lucky and proud to have been a wolf at the same time as all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Darvila. Please help me welcome our salutatorian, Olivia Edmond, to the stage.
Hello, friends, family, and graduates. A few weeks ago, I had one final physics exam. As I flipped through the pages and answered maybe half the questions, I tried to encourage myself with positive thinking. After all, this was my final physics test, hopefully ever. As I sat and worked through the problems, I remembered the motivating quote, "This too shall pass." This idea comforted me because I knew that despite the stress of that moment, the feeling would pass and eventually reflect only a small portion of my time at Nashoba. While I counted down the minutes to the end of the period, I felt conflicting, contradictory emotions. Because, as I sat there, hoping the exam would be over as soon as possible, at the same time, I was wishing away the minutes of my final days as a high school student. As high school seniors, one of the things that we've been told more than anything is just how fast time will pass us by. Each dinner table conversation about the future has been paired with conversations about just how quickly we can experience 4 years. As much as I hate to say it, this notion is correct. The first day of freshman year feels like yesterday, and today we sit before you in caps and gowns. As we reach the end of our high school years, we face many lasts. This whole process can be overwhelming, and for many, even though endings are tough, beginnings can feel that much harder. But it's important to remember that each of us got to where we are today from beginning. In my years in Nashoba, I've spent quite a lot of time helping out with youth camps. So although I don't have younger siblings, I've learned quite a bit about just how much kids have to say about themselves and the world around them. I've been reminded of all the opportunities that we had ahead of us at their age, and I was pleasantly surprised by the number of aspiring pop stars and NBA players who will attend Nashoba in the upcoming years. I was also inspired by the relative fearlessness they have of the future. Earlier this week, we walked through our elementary and middle schools. We were met with cheers of congratulations and applause of our achievements. None of the kids spoke about how scared they were for their next 4 years. In fact, they're enthusiastic about the experiences that lie ahead. So, despite all of our upcoming new responsibilities, I hope that all of us reflect their innocent excitement so that we can embrace the future, the unpredictability of it, and the endless possibilities it holds. Be ready for our new beginnings, our next first day, and our futures, in which I'm sure each one of us will find success. As we move full speed ahead, also take a moment and look around. We've had a lot of practice racing towards the exit at the end of the school day. I've even almost hit Mr. Walker while speeding out of the parking lot. Sorry again, Mr. Walker. At this time in our lives, we are propelled forward into adulthood and asked to face many experiences alone for the first time. So, as these happy moments pass, I encourage you all to take your time and soak them in. Enjoy every second of the summer with friends and family, all the while knowing that we're moving towards the biggest shift of our young lives in just a few short months. Say that extra thank you to all the teachers who believed in us and wanted to see us succeed. Hug all of your friends today. Reminisce on last sports seasons or the final day of class, and appreciate the little moments that built the friendships that carried us through high school and into college. And finally, tell your family that you love them, appreciate them, and are grateful for their endless support today and always. Graduation is also known as commencement, which reminds us that as we finish this chapter and everything we may have known comes to a close, we initiate something new. Our high school years may be over, but our youth is not. In fact, it is just starting to commence. Embrace the nostalgia, the challenges, and the unknown. Let these past 4 years inform your future, and understand that everything we've overcome stays with us, teaches us, but doesn't need to define us any more than we want it to. As we experience all the nerves of walking across this stage today, recognize that this moment, this feeling, will pass, but the lessons learned, people met, and memories made will always remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Each year, a dedicated committee of faculty members has the exciting task of selecting the Nashoban speech from a group of outstanding student submissions. This year, the honor goes to Malik Shanik, whose words truly stood out. It is with great excitement that I now invite Malik to the podium to deliver his Nashoban speech.
So I'm going to be completely honest. I spent a lot of time figuring out what I was going to say when I first got up here. So I'll just let that be the icebreaker and we'll get into the speech. Everybody please raise either their right hand or their left hand. That right there is one of the 35,000 conscious decisions you will make today. Over 4 years in Nashoba, that adds up to 51 million choices. In a way, our current selves have won a lottery. The lottery that has a 0.000000019,875% chance that our decisions have molded us into the people we all are sitting here today. So, as we carry ourselves into our post-high school years, I believe it is meaningful to ask the question, who actually is the person sitting in your seat? What truly defines you? If you had asked me that in my first years in Nashoba, I might have said, I'm a soccer player, I love to fish, I have brown hair, and I could be funny sometimes. But I believe it is a disservice to view ourselves as a couple of verbs and adjectives. A couple years ago, I focused my actions on shaping how other people thought of me. By chasing that external validation, I lost the self-respect, the people, and the integrity who made me who I was. When those core pillars were cut off, it left me with nothing to rely on but the person that I was pretending to be. As this alternate idealization of myself had no real fulfillment, I knew something had to change. It forced me into a pursuit of finding my true self. It was evident that Nashoba's amazing opportunity, culture, staff, and resources could lay down the foundation for many possibilities. With that broad support behind me, I was able to personalize those opportunities into specialized passions like Nashoba soccer, DECA, and founding my own club, the Islamic Society of Nashoba. These activities allow me to express my passions, along with meeting other people and creating my new community. After adding up all the moments, connections, successes, and even the failures that were created by those opportunities, it was clear that being me wasn't just living. Being me was about connecting with my community, about doing the hobbies that I actually love to do, and about being the person that my mom and dad called their son. This right here is how I was able to leverage the Nashoba community to turn my personal pursuit into a purpose, allowing me to stand here today as a resource for every student who walks through those doors feeling as lost as I once did. So I'd like to connect this thought to the concept of gravity. As we walk through our daily lives, gravity keeps us and everything around us grounded. We cannot see it, yet its magnitude is constant. Finding your true self means discovering your own personal gravity. It means choosing the right people, choosing the right passions, and choosing the right actions that will hold you down and keep you anchored, ensuring they help you stay grounded on the path to your future. So if somebody asked me who I am now, I wouldn't just describe myself. Yes, I have brown hair and like to think I can be funny at sometimes, but I'd also tell you about my family, who's always been there for me. I'd tell you about my culture and my communities. Who I am became less about my physical self and more about the people who make me, me. That's when things started to become a little bit easier. Once I committed to being myself, the people around me started to shape into people that I'd be proud to be like in the future. The pressure to impress others and the abundance of pretentiousness that swarms us today slowly faded away. We spend so much time worrying about materialistic motives that we slowly lose sight of what truly matters. At this very moment, there are people around the world facing hardships that most of us cannot imagine. As I stand here today, my brothers and sisters in Palestine continue to endure unimaginable suffering, loss, and displacement. What troubles me the most is not only that this suffering exists, but the fact of how easily suffering can just become more background noise. For example, civil war and mass displacement in Sudan, war in Ukraine, restrictions on women and girls in Afghanistan, violence in the Congo, military rule in Myanmar, humanitarian crises in Yemen and Syria, instability in Haiti, discrimination against minorities across the globe, even here on our very own soil. And the truth is, I could keep going. If you take a look at this beautiful crowd that we have here today, every 2 minutes, that's the amount of people that get affected by this recurring problem, by systematic corruption. Somewhere along the way, we have become so connected that we can witness the pain of the world through our very own screens, yet so disconnected that this pain feels like just another notification, another statistic, another headline. But I'm here to tell you today that that is not what all it is. They're human beings, they're families, they're communities, they're people with dreams, fears, and future aspirations the same as our very own today. If finding myself taught me anything, it is that who we are cannot be measured by who notices us, but it's measured by who we notice and what we do about it. So as I get the opportunity to talk to you all today, it is only right that I say, all of us are each other. We're the Nashoba class of 2026 and will always be. It's a part of who I am and who we all are. If each of you takes a moment to look to your right and look to your left, even if that person is somebody that you haven't been able to talk with yet, just know that that person is a part of who you are. So, in the years to come, for the next however many millions of decisions that you will make sure that you make the decision that will make somebody smile. Make sure that you make the decision to help the person in the world who's in need. Because that person who you made smile or that person who you advocated for is a part of you. They're a part of us. And that right there is the first step into making the class of 2026 the greatest lottery win Nashoba has ever seen. Thank you. Thank you.
Malik, that was amazing. Thank you. Each year, the graduating class leaves a lasting mark on Nashoba through a class gift presented on behalf of its members. This tradition serves as a way for seniors to express their gratitude and give back to the school community that has supported them throughout their high school journey. At this time, I would like to invite the class of 2026 officers to the podium to present this year's class gift. Please welcome Ryan Mitro, Renee Mitchell, Matt Matranga, and Lucy Romeo.
On behalf of the class of 2026, I am honored to present our class gift, a Japanese maple tree. This tree will be planted in the garden of our new school alongside a plaque. While many trees share the same shades of green, a Japanese maple brings its own unique color to this landscape. We chose it because it stands out. not by trying to be something else, but simply by being what it is. We hope it serves as a reminder that the qualities that make us different are often the qualities that make us valuable. To future students, our message is simple. Be yourself. The world needs what only you can contribute. Thank you, and remember, once a wolf, always a wolf.
Believe it or not, we did not coordinate that with my speech. It just happened. It's beautiful. Thank you, Ryan and class officers. That is a beautiful gift for our new school. All right, here's the moment. In just a few minutes, we will be awarding diplomas to our graduates, the milestone we've all gathered here to celebrate. This is a joyful and meaningful occasion. Please cheer for your graduates. I will hold talking and naming another graduate to give each graduate their time on the stage. We want to make sure that every graduate's name can be clearly heard by their family and friends, and that each student receives their diploma and gets that time to shine. Aaron, when you're ready. Dervila Mary Nagel. Olivia Jean Edmond. Malik Kamal Shanik. Ryan Thomas Mitro. Renee Elizabeth Mitchell. Matthew William Matranga. Lucy Alexandra Romeo. Sarah Grace Albanese. Gianna Sophia Albertelli. Jillian May Allen Scannell. Chelsea Ryan Amaral. Evan Jude Ambrose. Jamesley Kazal Anderson. Tyler Anthony Andrade. Madison Rose Auclair. Luke Stephen Babineau. Ryan Joseph Balowitz. Leela May Bannon. Giovanni Barreto Farias. Jack Matthew Barry. Braden Daniel Batista. Emily Rebecca Bashara. Madison Lynn Bernard. Odile Berzonskis. Emily Elizabeth Beiranavand. Michael Peter Biscaduros. Mason Michael Blake. Alexia Brooke Blanchflower. Kieran James Bowers. Chiana Mariella Bravo. Jadzia Teresa Bravo. Anderson James Broder. Gavin Andrew Bullock. Christopher Thomas Burke. Enzo Fernandez Murao Cardoso. Grace Elizabeth Cardoso. Irvin Sean Carnes. Nathaniel James Carter. Deanna Lisbeth Cerrone. Anne Daler Childs. Stanley Logan Cheruzik III. Cordelia Lillian Crystal Dubois. Dulcie Rosita Crystal Dubois. Benjamin Luke Clark. Anthony Ferrares Corcoran. Jacob Kevin Kramer. Luke Francis Curcio. Katarina E. Davis. Vanessa Ann Davis. Bruna Beltrame Morera de Carvalho. Kane Michael Demers. Nadia Ronica Demostin. Dylan Joseph Devine. Nelson Arturo Diaz. Ana Marie DiClemente. Ashley Ruth DeSalvo. Dominic Jeremy DeSalvo. Vincent Matthew DeVerdi. Joshua Jeffrey Dixon. Connor James Dolan. Morgan Starr Donahue. Alexander Wrights Dow. Aislinn Rose DeShano. Samuel Cole Duffy. Ava Isabella Duvarney. Harrison Owen Duvarney. Abigail Grace Fantana. Nora Kathleen Farrell. Maria Julie Gonçalves Fernandez. Julia Kathleen Fiore. Dominic Michael Frado. Genevieve Josephine Gale. George Price Garrick. Anthony Stephen Gianetti. Sarah Elizabeth Giger. Melanie Andrea Gould. Evan Richard Green. Grace Virginia Guthrie. Catherine Diana Hagopian. Sydney Marie Hebert. Kylie Marie Heffernan. Charlotte Emily Hess. Gavin Patrick Hildreth. Liam Connor Hippolito. Ryan Christopher Hodges. Zachary Otto Hodges. William Luke Heffler. Adam Riley Homer. Antoine Marie Mathieu Hubert. Kenneth John Hudson IV. Chloe Elizabeth Hughes. Alden McNaught Hurd. Sarah Swati Iyer. Mila Ferreira Jacob. Nyla Ferreira Jacob. Jason Thomas Jangro. Tess Zamaret Jarger. Lily Josephine Johnson. Dylan Allen Josephs. Josephine Dawn Joyce. Grace Catherine Jassoum. Curtis John Keaton. Sophia Brooke Kern. Ella Jean Kerr. Zain Altaf Khan. Caitlin Elizabeth Kivy. Dmitry Artyomovich Klochkov. Theo Joseph Kramer. Madeline Riley Lebowski. Isolde Catherine Lachance. Benjamin Weller Lamson. Mateus Xavier Lima. George Francis Luisa. Keegan Richard McLean. Owen Matthew Mahoney. Emmanuel Daniel Maliverde. Nathaniel David Millette. Iseline Laurel March. Silas Marciani. Beatrice Au Marple. Jackson Wyatt Marsteiner. Paige Alexis Mason. Christian John Matranga. Caroline Elizabeth Maddox. Callie Anne-Marie McCammon. Leah Siri McClellan. Hunter Matevier. Valerie Natalie Patty Michelle. Brady Andrew Mignot. Christopher James Milholm. Kyle Clint Milholm. Finley Piper Morrison Miller. Olivia Grace Mitchell. Eli Michael Molzan. Madeline Jean Morehouse. Allison Eldridge Mortimer. Maya Rose Mozinski. Ezra Robert Monroe. Finian Matthew Murphy. Jacob Yim Murphy. Dominic Kuba Nalepa. Sierra Nessman. Carter Owen Newshafer. Kelly Ann O'Brien. Mackenzie Mary O'Brien. Simon Edward O'Toole. Amanda Fonte Oliveira. Gabrielle Marie Palermo. Gage Vincent Palermo. Jerry Pan. Bianca Eve Parsons. Isabella Odile Paul. Kawa Mateus Pereira Ramos. Emerson Roberts Peterson. Caroline Emma Pinto. Andrew James Pataris. Gavin Frank Regan. Kelly Sophia Ricard. Ariel Meselamet Rivera Sanchez. Ella Grace Rogers. Gavin Peter Rogers. Lucas Kayland Rohrberg. Katerina Francis Romano. Sarah Limas Sales. Danilo Reese Santos. Olivia Ryan Saro. Joseph Walter Schecksnyder. Lillian Marie Schmaltz. Evan Matthew Schmidt. Jacob Allen Schwartz. Logan Eric Schweppe. Samantha Diane Sharma. Zayam Urahman Sherwani. Nikhil Christopher Ciano. Emily Dragon Scar. Isabella Victoria Sloan. Gwenin Sarah Smith. Jacob Brian Smith. Sawyer May Heritage Smith. Lierte Suarez Neto. Grace Rose Stepanian. Lex Jaden Tarbell. Charlotte Grace Thoyne. Sienna Marie Turilli. William Henry Tromba. Adler James Tuck. Jillian Irene Valentino. Nicolo Anthony Viverito. Christopher James Warner. Shay Elizabeth Warner. Ella Florence May Wiedock. Jonah Logan Weinert. Faith Aaron Winzio. Xingyu Yang. Will all of our graduates please rise? For the past 13 years, you have learned, you have grown, you have persevered, and achieved more than you may realize. Today, we celebrate all that you have accomplished and the journey that has brought you to this moment. Graduates, it is now time for a tradition that symbolizes the completion of one chapter and the beginning of another. Please move your tassel from the right side to the left. You are now graduates of Nashoba Regional High School. Congratulations, Nashoba Class of 2026! Again, one round of applause, one more round of applause, and I think a standing ovation for this fantastic class.
Hurry up. One, two.